It is important to have vital information about constipation before embarking on knowing the signs and symptoms associated with it. Basically, this condition is associated with hard passage of bowel movements. Some medics believe that it is more of a symptom, not a disease. Others have a totally different perspective in regards to the subject. What is for sure though is the fact that people suffering from constipation usually have less than 3 bowel movements in a week. Stools become small in regards to size, dry and hard, and their elimination becomes extremely difficult. There is a lot of difficulty experienced during passage of stool. Almost everyone has heard, read, or worse still experienced constipation once in their lifetime. Individuals who lack adequate energy, with high levels of stress and having back pains always associate these to constipation. Having the accurate information about the condition is vital in countering the menace which brings discomfort and uneasiness. Signs of constipation differ in different people. Nevertheless, there are those which are quite common and apply almost to everyone. The sad thing is that the number of people suffering from the condition and do not have vital information that can help solving the problem is overwhelming. The first step towards combating any menace is having all the facts right and acknowledging that the problem is indeed in existence. Some of the common signs are looked in detail below. Passage of less than 3 bowel movements in a week. Individuals with the disorder have a reduced number of bowel movement in a week. There is the normal number of movements which is supposed to be experienced by any human being. When this number comes down to less than 3 in a week, then there is every reason to worry. This may be associated with low amounts of fiber content in the body. Taking of foods that contain high content of fiber is very important, as this will counter all the symptoms that often are an indication of constipation. Experiencing of hard stools. This is other major sign. There is difficulty in stool passage. In severe cases it becomes quite painful and can result to bleeding. Water is very essential to the body, and it is also a huge remedy towards tackling this problem. The people who find it hard to eliminate stool from their systems probably should consider going in a drinking spree. In this case it is not an alcohol drinking spree but water. 8 glasses are a good start to solve the puzzle, but medical professionals recommend approximately 3 liters of water on a daily basis. They are individuals with special conditions and this amount might be too high for them. In this case, it is best to seek the guideline of a doctor on the right amount to take. Excessive strain in bowel movements. Bowel movements are not supposed to be strenuous at all. If there is excess struggle, then something is very wrong somewhere. Immediate self-assessment ought to be done and a critical analysis of the eating habits carried out. Many of the signs associated with constipation are as a result of poor eating habits and carelessness. Individuals are extremely ignorant of the important factors to be looked into to ensure that the body is always in a perfect state. It is vital that caution is observed on the foods and anything that is put inside the mouth to be eaten, because most of the times it is what is ingested that comes to fail the body. This ought to be critically looked at. The blockage of the rectum. This is a very fundamental part of the body. Its services come in handy in the elimination process. Whenever it blocks, there is every reason to be concerned, as extreme pain and difficulty will be experienced during the passage of stool. Normally, no pain is felt during excretion of the unwanted stuff from the body. Once someone starts to have these pains, then most probably it is a real indication of constipation. There are other related signs and symptoms to the conditions. They include having nausea, vomiting, abdominal swelling, weight loss, feeling sluggish, and many others. The stool needs to be soft and easy to pass. Normally, it is supposed to be excreted twice a day. There is no doubt that the disorder is quite uncomfortable and bothersome. People who have experienced it are at a better position to give an account of all that is involved when suffering from the condition. In most of the cases it is not serious. In fact, it can be treated through self-taught of methods. Basically all that needs to be done is to first and foremost know what the actual cause is and then start from there. For example, if the cause is the lack of water, then high amounts ought to be taken. The intake of high-content fiber foods should be increased when the cause is lack of fiber. The mentioned are just some of the ways to go around the condition. It reaches a point where constipation becomes exceedingly serious. Chronic constipation, if not well and timely addressed, can lead to severe complications or in any other serious cases be a major sign of an underlying disorder. When it reaches this stage, Seeking the advice of a doctor is the best thing to do. Any slight change of bowel activities should be a cause for alarm. The symptoms must not last more than 3 weeks or so. The sad thing is that most people do not consider constipation to be a disease and therefore end up not taking it serious to avoid constipation. This should not be the case at all. It must be given all the seriousness it deserves, mainly because it may be the leading cause of other conditions. In fact, medics hold that it is one of the root problem or causes or sign of a number of medical conditions. The use of colon cleansers that are oxygen is highly recommended by professionals.